Please be seated. Distinguished guests, students, parents, members of the Board of Trustees, Academy colleagues, family and friends. It is my privilege to welcome you to the 147th commencement exercises at Cushing Academy to celebrate the academic achievements of the class of 2022. Today is a celebration of all that our graduates have achieved and all that they will achieve, both as a community and as individuals. They have so much to be proud of, with triumphs in areas as diverse as academics, arts, athletics, and leadership. Let's give them another big round of applause. I would like to ask all Cushing Academy faculty and staff to please stand. The Academy is fortunate to have highly dedicated and caring faculty and staff who met every challenge, went above and beyond, and maintained the highest level of academic excellence possible this year, always while maintaining a caring and supportive environment. Class of 2022, you have been partners with these outstanding teachers and mentors throughout your time here at Cushing. They are the individuals you love to make laugh and those who provided you the space to talk. You hated to disappoint them, and you were proud when they paid you a compliment. Other special members of our campus community also worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure you were always safe, healthy, well-fed, and happy on campus. Let us recognize and thank all of these professionals who have helped shape your life as a Cushing student. Let's give them a big round of applause. Please be seated. I look upon all of you, class of 2022, and I feel great pride. Pride in the amazing year we cherished together. Pride in the future we built together. And pride in the Cushing mission and values we have embodied and continue to embody every day. Commencement is always bittersweet for me. On one hand, I'm overjoyed to watch members of our graduating class move on to the next stages of their lives and build on the intellectual, social, and moral foundation they created at Cushing. On the other hand, I'm saddened to know this will be one of the last times this particular group of bright, talented, and ambitious individuals will be all together. As I reflected on this challenging and wonderful school year, 3 themes in particular stood out to me: commitment, connection, and community. Commitment. It's the foundation for our success and the exceptionalism we find here. That's why early in the year at Convocation, I reminded you to set goals. The ability to set ambitious goals and live up to them has been a core trait for everyone who has succeeded here. As I look upon this sea of graduation caps, I see hundreds of goals, arduously worked towards in spite of many challenges and setbacks. We live in a particularly uncertain world. During your time at Cushing, humanity has faced a pandemic, political strife, and many other challenges. We've asked you to recalibrate what normal is. We face COVID remediation measures, social distancing, and also continue to path towards measured normalcy. Through it all, you committed yourselves to your goals and dreams and to the values we share as Penguins. Your efforts are what make Cushing such an amazing place to live, learn, and play, no matter what happens outside of these walls. That fills me with hope. Of course, commitment alone is not what makes an exceptional culture like ours. Over 500 committed individuals means nothing if they are working alone and in isolation. But we didn't work alone. Despite all of the obstacles keeping us apart, we worked in harmony. We have one of the strongest and most supportive communities I've ever had the pleasure to serve. Thank you. And that's because of connection. It was an area of focus this year and the secret to maintaining a close-knit community. At the beginning of the year, I placed special emphasis on encouraging you to form new relationships and take care of those old ones. Through these meaningful and lasting connections, we created not just a school community, but your home. Whether it is within the structured frameworks of faculty advisory, academics, arts, and athletics, or through other programming like cookouts, turf night, dorm Olympics, whatever it might be, the relationships you've formed here are the most valuable thing that you'll leave Cushing with. Those connections with your teachers, advisors, coaches, and peers helped enable your success and pursuit of excellence this year, and they will be a lifelong resource for you moving forward. I was truly moved this year during the final advisory before Thanksgiving break. I watched you all write hundreds of messages expressing gratitude to someone in our community. Teachers, advisors, coaches, the facilities team, dining hall staff, captains, proctors, students alike all received reminders of how special they are and how important their contributions are to our community. These messages uplifted us all and showed that you all value connection as much as I do. The final key to our success this year was community. While commitment and connection form the bedrock of our shared experience here, it's the power of our community that truly brings meaning. I saw the power of community many times. During the Student Club Fair was an example. I was blown away by the energy channeled by the more than 20 student groups represented. From the Sino Plastic initiatives to international club events to the start of a new literary magazine. Even the SWAT team, which for those of you who don't know, is our student weekend activities team. Your engagement and agency gave life to our campus in a myriad of ways. I saw the power of our community on the opening night of our winter musical, Now Hear This. Everyone there witnessed your talent and creative ability. In addition to that, I also saw the hours of late nights, dozens of rehearsals, and a deep love for the performing arts that made it all possible. I saw the power of our community on the courts and fields. I beamed with pride on Cushing signing days, when many of you committed to college athletics. I remember your clean sweep in the opening weekend home games in the winter with victories by varsity girls basketball, varsity girls hockey, and varsity boys hockey. The determination and teamwork you all displayed was awe-inspiring. And the unveiling of the Girls Hockey 2020 championship banner reminded us all of the athletic greatness that Cushing aspires to. Finally, I saw the power of our community in your charitable works on Tony Fisher Day as you landscaped and beautified local libraries, churches, parks, and streets. You put up hundreds of yards of fencing, hauled endless bags of trash, and cooked over 2,500 meals. Watching our community give back to the world is extraordinary. It speaks volumes about your character and what our community can do for the world. Commitment, connection, and community. Our undivided focus on these three key elements has made this year resoundingly and unforgettably successful. Today, I stand before you filled with gratitude for everything we've accomplished and deep optimism for what the future holds for the class of 2022. At the beginning of the year, our community climbed Mount Monadnock together, as we do each fall and have done each fall since 1926. I'd like to conclude my remarks by returning there. For those of you unfamiliar, Mount Monadnock is a fun, yet sometimes grueling and exhausting hike, scaling some trail inclines so steep, they seem almost vertical. After about an hour of arduous climbing, of sweat, sometimes tears, and lactic acid, you'll reach a clearing. The rocks will plateau, and you'll behold a view where you can see for miles and miles. You'll be elated, thinking the pain is finally over, and you can climb back down. But as many of you know, that's a false summit, right? Just ask the faculty. There are still many, many miles to go, or many, many steps to go. At first, students might feel devastating disappointment, but then the Cushing comes out. They grit their teeth, remind themselves what they're capable of, and commit to making it happen. Penguins have tremendous capacity. They pick themselves up and embrace the next stage of the hike as passionately as the first half and trek higher together. Right now, we are all on Mount Monadnock. We have accomplished so much, and the view from here is breathtaking. But there are still many, many steps to go. And like every student on the second leg of that climb, I ask that as you leave Cushing, you embrace enthusiastically and purposefully the unknown path ahead, knowing that our shared commitment, connection, and community are behind you. Not forgotten, but an important and treasured part of the journey as you all become members of our alumni family. Congratulations, class of 2022, and best wishes for all that lie ahead. Thank you. I would now like to ask Mr. David Bennett to join me at the podium. Dave, your steadfast commitment to our students has been at the core of your work as a dedicated teacher of science. Your commitment continued outside the classroom as a tennis coach and instructor in many other settings, including joining your colleagues and students in the chorus for our annual convocation and bringing humor to assembly with your announcements throughout the years. Together with your wife, Lynn, you are a proud parent of two penguins, Vera, class of 2009, and Christopher, class of 2013. Today, we honor your immeasurable impact on Cushing and on countless students. Having earned the respect and admiration for all, your dedication and devotion to this community make it only fitting that you be forever recognized as an honorary member of the class of 2022. Congratulations. Take a photo if you hold it up. Congratulations. Congratulations, well deserved. It is now my great pleasure to welcome Kirby Saunders, class of 1967, to introduce our speaker from a very special perspective. A proud Penguin, he is also an emeritus member of our Board of Trustees, having served for 12 years with great distinction. We are delighted that he and his wife, Lisa, can be with us today from Florida. Please join me in welcoming Kirby.
Well, greetings, Penguinians, and congratulations to the Cushing class of 2022. It's already been said who I am, and I am the class of 1967. That would be 55 years ago that I graduated from Cushing Academy. Yeah, over a century. So, and as I've gotten older, I walk more and more like a penguin. And my wife, Lisa, has already been introduced, but I'm doing it again anyway because that's why I'm happily married. As was mentioned, my brother Cardi, who was a great role model for me, was the class of 1965, and he sort of paved the way for me to adapt to Cushing living. Our daughter Leah is the class of 2005. Our nephew George Saunders, who's sitting over there, is the class of 2004. So he showed up and came, that's great. Our nephew Chris is class of 2007. And our brother Jack was a Cushing parent of George and Chris. So we have a long tradition in line of being Penguins. By the way, I've been singing for the last couple of days, we are the Penguins, the mighty, mighty Penguins. Everywhere we go, people want to know who we are, and so we tell them. And I've been doing that for 55 years. Now, the reason I love Cushing is because the Saunders family has benefited from Cushing's nurturing environment, and because Cushing educates the intellect of each student and strengthens the emotions of each student. Cushing teaches the students to treat each other like they matter. I had a parent last night in the hotel we were in, of one of the graduates, say she was amazed as to how loyal the alumni are to each other and how they stay connected. And it's true. 55 years later, I still have very, very close relationships with the students that I went to Cushing with. And it's because of what I had just described. And also, Cushing celebrates the unique gifts and talents of each student. It is because of my 4 years at Cushing that I was able to face the many challenges in life, because Cushing built up my sense of self-worth and my sense of self-respect and my sense of community, as Dr. Burton talked about. So I'm introducing son Luke, but before I do that, so I don't get in further trouble, we raised 7 children. We have 2 son-in-laws, 2 daughter-in-laws, and our 11th grandchild, Luke's daughter, came 6 weeks ago, who we're finally going to get to see tomorrow. So if you see my wife moving around quickly, it's because she wants to see our granddaughter. And Luke, back to Luke, he's always been a person of curiosity and diverse interests. He was the type of person who always asked questions and rarely made statements. And I think that's part of his who he is, and his being successful in the world in his area is because he's a person who investigates without having contempt, so he doesn't have any contempt before investigation. Luke is goal-oriented, and he cares about what is the goal and where is the goal. So a couple stories. One is when he was about 3, we were staying in a place vacationing, and the first morning we went to the dining room, and Luke was out front like he always was. And he spotted across the way glazed donuts. But in between him and the glazed donuts were tables that were set and everything else. And Luke doesn't walk around. He saw the glazed donuts and he just started jumping like an Olympic athlete across the tables. till he hit the glazed donuts. The other one I wanted to tell about Luke is the Adirondacks Mountains. If you climb all 46 peaks, which are roughly 4,600 feet high each one, you get the honor of being called a 46er. Usually people take years to accomplish that. Luke did it in less than 3 weeks with 7 other guys. And that's how Luke is. Luke is also a born entrepreneur. He's a risk taker and sees the needs that are in the marketplace. And he saw the need in the marketplace, and thus was the birth of Farmer's Fridge. One of my 2 stories, and they'll be quick, one is the bagel story. When he was about 8 or 9 years old, I was driving some of the kids back from ice hockey practice, and we stopped at the bagel store and bought some bagels. And on the way back home, after that, some of the ones said, "Boy, these bagels are so expensive." And Luke says, "Not if you take into the cost of the flour, the cost of the milk, the cost of the rent, the cost of the insurance." And on he went. I almost drove off the road. So, oh my gosh. And then my other one is, I'm a techno weenie, and he asked me, he was about 14, and he said, "I want to open an E-Trade account." Of course, I didn't know what an E-Trade account was, but it's Luke, and he had some money saved up from his grandparents. So I said, "Fine." Well, needless to say, he opened the account, and he did very well, and he automatically became a research analyst, and he's still a research analyst. We had the pleasure of being in the car with him yesterday for about 7 hours, and I got to hear him talking various things, and it was a treat. And then we, of course, had flashbacks of all the times we drove up here to be here at Cushing. Last one is he went to Washington University in St. Louis, and it's known for one of its areas. It has a school and an area of teaching for entrepreneurship. Well, needless to say, Luke plugged right into that, and the students run all the businesses on campus. So he took over the bike leasing business. And basically the way you're learning is you're running a business, and the faculty is monitoring you and helping you. And when Luke finally sold the business his senior year, he tripled the business, and he had a partner who was now a lifelong friend. And he also had an experience where the Boeing Corporation asked 20 of the top Chinese students and 20 of American university students, and Luke was tagged as one of the 20 American university students. They went to Washington, D.C., and he studied there, and then he learned Chinese as well, and then he worked in China for a while. And part of his job at the end of the day was to teach English to the Chinese employees. The last thing is one of the businesses, the last one, Luke restructured one of the family businesses. And in that restructuring, he saved the business from bankruptcy because Luke pulled the business into the 21st century, and you are the 21st century. And I'm very optimistic about all of you because you're going to bring technology and all these other things that we have available to us. So I'm an optimist when it comes to the generations behind us. So the last thing is Luke's wife, Rachel, couldn't be here, obviously, with a 6-week-old baby and 2 sons that are great boys. The last thing is Luke when he locked into Rachel. I wanted to tell her, don't spend any time playing hard to get, because once Luke is focused on you, it's over. Just surrender. So that's, without further ado, may I introduce our son, Luke Saunders.
Thank you for the very detailed introduction. Thank you, Dr. Burton. Thank you to the faculty and staff for having me here. Congratulations to everybody involved, especially the parents, for getting these amazing students to such a great milestone. And of course, thank you and congratulations to the class of 2022. I'm really incredibly honored to be here speaking with you today. It's been probably 15 years at least since I've been back at Cushing, and it's changed quite a bit. So it's really great, and a lot of emotions of just thinking through every great memory that happened here. And I know all of you are eager to get through this and see your family and friends, so I did my best to keep it short and make it count. If I did a great job, definitely let me know. If it isn't so great, it's the high school that I went to. So I graduated Cushing in 2004. I actually went to WashU, but it's important to note that I had to apply twice. I did end up graduating in the middle of the Great Recession, and that's where I took that job with my dad at a grease lubricant manufacturing business. And while most of my friends were on Wall Street or consulting, I was driving a forklift and selling my car to make the payroll. So I ended up not being very qualified for a follow-on job to that, and I took a job selling metal finishing in Michigan, which is basically like nonstick pans for industrial use. If you've seen the movie Tommy Boy, it's kind of like that. And what I realized in the process is a lot of the places I was going, there was not fresh, healthy meals for people. About 99% of the time, there was a fast food restaurant or a vending machine, but nothing that I really wanted to eat. And there was a lot of debate at the time about people wanting to eat healthy food and why it wasn't available. And I will tell you, 9 years later, Farmer's Fridge, which is a company that makes fresh food and puts it into vending machines across 20 states, has sold millions of meals and donated over 1 million meals to our food pantry partners across the country. So we have a long way to go, but the goal is to make fresh, healthy food as accessible as a candy bar. And actually, my passion for food started at Cushing because I got to eat at the dining hall all the time. And so I joined the food committee where we tried to get better options on the menu. So I'm excited to try lunch today. I've heard great things about the new dining hall. But more importantly, Cushing taught me no comment. They should get some Farmer's Fridge. So, but most importantly, my time at Cushing taught me about hard work, creativity, and gave me a lifelong love of learning. So, now is the part where I try to inspire you all and make a speech relevant to your life. But as I prepared for today, I realized I don't really know much about what you have on your mind. I actually realized that my daughter, who's 6 weeks old, is closer to her high school graduation than I am. And I didn't realize I was that old. Then I tried to put myself back in the mindset of an 18-year-old and think about what I would want most from the speaker at my graduation. Unfortunately, 18-year-old Luke was thinking about trying to get out of here as fast as possible. So while skipping the speech altogether had some appeal to me, less work and crowd-pleasing, I figured it's not what Dr. Burton had in mind when he invited me here today. So I finally settled on sharing what a 36-year-old me would share with an 18-year-old me. And in advance, I want to apologize to all of my parents especially, but my teachers and mentors and anybody who has shared advice with me in the past and still does, because I may not have listened to you then or now, but I didn't ignore everything you said, and it matters a lot that you cared enough to try. So the first thing I learned is nature doesn't go in straight lines, and your life won't either. Humans love straight lines. We tell stories that go in one direction. We imagine a future where everything goes as planned. Nature, on the other hand, is all about cycles, waves. There's high tide, low tide. In my experience, your journey will be a lot more like nature than the idealized story of continuous progress that we hear about from others and ourselves. And a large part of what I wanted to share today is just how not clean and messy my own journey has been. For myself, I didn't get into my first choice school. I had to take a year off and reapply. I decided to spend too much time on that bike rental company and my social life and didn't get a job after college, so I ended up back in the grease factory that I applied to college twice to not have to work at. It was a great experience, but not what I expected. In the end, after a number of humbling setbacks, I finally started to notice how hard the people around me were working to get the results they wanted, and regardless of the circumstances they were in. I flashed back to not making the varsity team or getting the best job and remembered the students outside the rink practicing for their games or in the library studying for their exams. It finally made sense to me that the people around me got what they wanted by staying focused, being prepared, making sacrifices, and working harder than everybody else. It may sound simple, but I never forgot when one of my teachers sat me down and told me they were worried about me. They told me that I was having an easy time in their class, but they wanted me to know that I was in for a big shock in life when I learned that I would have to apply myself to be successful. I didn't listen then, but I never forgot what they said. And thankfully, I got the message at some point, or I wouldn't be here with you now. In retrospect, I think a big part of what that I was avoiding was a commitment to what it takes to be successful. I didn't want to fail. I realized I had been afraid to put myself out there, to work hard and then not get the results. I can tell you that to this day, I still have that fear of failure, but instead of letting it stop me I try to use it as fuel. Results are not always guaranteed in the short term, but you can manage through it. So a lot of it is just acknowledging that ambiguity and getting ready. In summary, recognize that a lot's outside your control. That may sound really obvious to a class that spent the last 2 years dealing with a global pandemic, and probably no one better than you guys understands that. Just remember that to embrace that ambiguity, don't be afraid to fail, and you'll always have enough time to change course, improve your odds of success, despite what happens around you. The second big thing that I learned is you need a team to do anything great. I'm still on the learning curve for this one, but there is no way I would have accomplished anything as incredible as what we have done at Farmer's Fridge without a team and the pressure from my network and friends and family. Teams are the people that you spend time with, and they're your greatest asset. At Cushing, I was given the opportunity to play on great teams, have incredible teachers support me, and live in dorms where I had to work with others every day. I'm sorry to admit that I didn't really appreciate it at the time. I was convinced that my own talents would get me where I wanted to go in life, and I didn't spend much time thinking about the teams outside what was assigned in the classroom or on the field. In fact, when I started Farmer's Fridge, I was so convinced that everything was going to be robots, I didn't even need employees. Thank goodness that a few of my most committed teammates and supporters did not let me do that. In fact, my mother-in-law flew to Chicago and forced me to hire my first 2 employees. And my wife still had to leave her job at her first day at a big law firm to chop lettuce with me so we could make the catering order. Today we have over 270 people, and it actually started with my cousin as the first employee helping me while he couch surfed in Chicago. So that team really matters, and too often people like me get to take the position on stage or get interviewed for the story. The reality is that you'd have zero success without a lot of help. Invest in your team and make sure that you support them, and amazing things can happen. I still have a lot to learn, but consistency and empathy have gotten me far, and it's an impossible standard, but try to always give more than you get. I'm so incredibly grateful to my team at work, at home, and throughout my life, especially to my wife and kids for being there for me every day and always providing support, but also pushing me when needed. Thank you. The final lesson is life is too short to play someone else's game. As my dad shared, I've always been a bit unique and goal-oriented, but I definitely did not always embrace it. In fact, I had it and still do have a pretty big anxiety about what other people would think and would rank putting myself out there as one of my biggest fears. The idea that I would say yes to speaking in front of hundreds of people at such an important day was completely unthinkable to me for most of my life. To be honest, I just decided to say yes before I could change my mind. In any case, as I get older, I have been able to see enough of the results to tell you, rather than to tell you, the time spending, sorry. In any case, as I get older, I have been able to see enough of the results to tell you, the more time you spend about thinking what you really want, rather than what everyone else is doing or wanting you to do, and lining up your life around those goals and priorities, the better it gets. What I mean by this is, don't let other people define you. Just to be clear, I'm not saying you should go break a bunch of rules. There are lots of things you have to do in life, rules you have to follow, customs you have to respect, ceremonies you have to take part in. Those are all part of being a community. What I mean is be very intentional about how you spend your time. Make sure it lines up as much as practical with what you value and enjoy doing. You should not just take everything you see or are told at face value. When I started Farmer's Fridge, lots of people told me that no one wanted to buy high quality, fresh food from a vending machine. Even more people were convinced that nobody wanted healthy food as an option, and that's why it didn't exist. To me, it seemed obvious that people don't like anything that is expensive, inconvenient, and doesn't taste good. As a result, I decided to put myself out there and prove the consensus wrong. Thankfully, we have been able to manage through the ups and downs of global pandemic and build an amazing team. We don't play by the rules that the food industry set, and 9 years later, I can tell you that for sure people like healthy food that is cheaper, more convenient, and tastes better. And you don't have to take my word for it. We've sold millions of meals to all kinds of consumers all over the United States. Don't let other people define you. In closing, I want to make sure you're all very excited about the future. I know there's a lot going on in the world. It can seem like things that are bad are easy to focus on, but there's so much to be excited about. You guys have just gotten a world-class education. There's more technology, more funding, more education, less poverty, and so much opportunity in the world. So hopefully you'll embrace that, find something you're passionate about, and go have a huge, successful future ahead of you. Thank you, and congratulations again to the class of 2022.
Thank you. Established in 2010, the Cushing Academy Leadership Award honors exemplary leadership through professional and personal accomplishments and contributions to society. Luke, you have achieved distinction in each of these realms. We applaud your creativity, determination, vision, and hard work as a successful entrepreneur on the path that you have forged to make it simple for all to eat well. And we commend your strong commitment to giving back to your community as a core value. As I shared with Luke prior to this morning's ceremony, the Leadership Award is represented by an engraved Cushing chair, which will be shipped to his home in Chicago. Luke, a round of applause. We are proud of your impressive dedication, accomplishments, and many contributions to your industry and beyond, and it is a privilege to recognize you as the recipient of the 2022 Cushing Academy Leadership Award. Congratulations. Many members of our graduating class were among the award recipients honored at our award ceremony yesterday, and their names are printed in your program. I will now present the Class of 2022 awards that are reserved each year for presentation at the graduation ceremony. Before we begin, just a few points of order. First, for the graduating class, if your name is called, please come up to the platform on the stairs to your left and exit the stairs on your right. So enter here, exit there. Families, when your graduate is called to receive an award or diploma, a photograph will be taken by a professional photographer who will be in contact with you in a few weeks. Finally, because we are live streaming graduation, if you do leave your seat to take photographs, which you are certainly most welcome to do, we ask that you quickly return your seat so you don't block sight lines. And now for the 2022 Graduation Awards. The Holden Class of 1888 prizes are given in honor of William and Eliza Holden, both of whom truly exemplified the characteristics of loyalty and friendliness. We have two deserving recipients for this prize, Yihin Stan Chang and William Lassard. Well, the Pliny A. Boyd Class of 1894 prizes are given to two members of the graduating class who have demonstrated the best spirit of general helpfulness and have had the best citizenship record during the current school year. The very worthy recipients this year are Ava Doyle and Matisse Schutten Burgess. The Eaton Class of 1900 and Dunn Class of 1899 prizes. The Eaton and Dunn families are synonymous with service to this academy, as exemplified by Alice Eaton Dunn and Frederick J. Dunn, both of the Class of 1899, as well as Lillian Eaton, Class of 1900. Mr. Dunn was a longtime trustee and board president, and Miss Eaton taught at Cushing Academy for 30 years. This award goes to two students who have rendered the finest service to the academy during the current academic year. The recipients this year are Jane Harmon and Grace McGovern. The Senator Marcus A. Coolidge Award was established to honor Senator Coolidge's leadership as mayor of Fitchburg, a United States senator, and a trustee and board president of Cushing Academy for 28 years. This award is presented annually to the president of the Academy's student government to highlight the importance of leadership in politics and government as exemplified by the senator's career. We have very deserving co-presidents this year, Lily Stone and Marty McFadden. Lily, just hang there. The Deborah Evans Class of 1974 Award is given in memory of a young woman whose dedication to life was limitless, whose spirit brightened every facet of our school, whose warmth and concern touched everyone, and whose presence and vitality have become a cherished part of our academy. Deborah Evans gave Cushing the best of herself, facing challenges to the full extent of her abilities. This year, the recipient of the Deborah Evans Class of 1974 Award is Lily Stone. I would like to invite Mr. Joseph Marzilli, Chair of the Board of Trustees, to join me in presenting the Pliny A. Boyd 1894 Award and the Webster Moulton 1944 Award, recognizing the highest character and finest contributions to our community. Joe?
Thank you, Randy. First, on behalf of the trustees of Cushing Academy, I want to congratulate the graduates, the class of 2022, and also congratulate your parents, family, and friends, all who I am sure have helped you along the way to get to this graduation day. I also want to thank and congratulate the faculty and staff of Cushing Academy for another successful year and for all their hard work in getting the class of 2022 to this graduation day. Thank you very much, all of you. Now to the awards. Established in 1929 and once known as the Trinity Prize, the Plenty A. Boyd 1894 Award is given to that student who has demonstrated the highest character and ideals and through them has exerted the greatest influence in all areas of school life. The recipient has earned the utmost respect from fellow students and faculty alike. And by vote of the faculty, the Plenty A. Boyd 1894 Award recipient for 2022 is Tralia Trigg. The Webster Moulton 1944 Award was first given in 1945 in memory of a boy who greatly loved this school. Though stricken with a serious illness while a student at Cushing, Webster Moulton set an example of courage and cheerfulness. A capable student and athlete, he found joy in helping others and in participating in the activities of our school. This award goes to that senior who most nearly emulates the standards of character, academic achievement, and general promise demonstrated by Webster Moulton. By vote of the faculty, the Webster Moulton 1944 Award recipient for 2022 is Zahira Branch.
Thank you. The Alumni Salutatorian Award. The Salutatorian has the honor of having attained the second highest cumulative average in the graduating class. This year, the class of 2022 Salutatorian is Yoon-Soo Kim. The Josephine Vino Cook 1933 Valedictorian Award. The rare distinction of leading one's class academically is achieved through the pursuit of excellence, outstanding scholarship, curiosity, creativity, perseverance, and a passion for learning. The honor of leading the class of 2022 has been earned by Lily Stone. this time, I welcome the valedictorian of the class of 2022, Lily Stone, to give her valedictory address. Lily?
Good morning, everyone. When I came to Cushing 4 years ago, I thought I knew exactly who I was. A three-sport varsity athlete on my way to studying history and law. I'm sure that we have all realized something about ourselves that we didn't know before. During our time together here, we've all formed new social circles, gotten out of our comfort zones, and most importantly, we've grown. Cushing is a safe space for me, as I'm sure it is for many of you, and the idea of leaving Cushing can seem somewhat scary. While change can be frightening, I want to challenge your idea of what change can be. Change is opportunity. Change is potential. Standing before you today, not only am I a three-sport varsity athlete, but I have discovered a profound love of theater and the arts. Originally, when I started writing this speech, Mr. Bala asked me if I would be comfortable singing it instead, but I don't think I'm there yet, and I figured I would spare you guys all of the experience, so I kept that for next time. But I also stand before you having discovered a passion for science so strong that I now plan to be a STEM major. In the 9th grade, my aunt gifted me a copy of Grey's Anatomy, the book, not the TV show, for my birthday that I actually cited on an honors biology project that opened my eyes to the world of medicine. However eye-opening that project was, the first draft got shut down because I had yet to take any sort of ethics course, and the project I designed was extremely unethical. That useful feedback forced me to think about what kind of world we live in and what kind of world we want to leave behind. I believe that our generation is particularly motivated to change that which we don't like, which I think is awesome. To me, the ironic truth is that change is the only constant. In the world we experience, change is frequent, yet we do our best to combat that. But interiorly, change is always happening, whether we are conscious of it or not. It's up to us to decide whether that change will be for the better. At this time next year, we will have finished our first year of college or whatever else we've decided to do after Cushing, and we will be changed because of it. I like to think that living in an ever-changing environment has given us a different and unique appreciation of time. If you stop and think about it, the four-year seniors have only had one full normal year on campus, and even still, only 14 of us remained on campus when we could be throughout our 4 years. Seniors or PGs joining the class later have had an entirely different experience with Cushing, and even less time being here. Because of the changes to the school year and the student body, we have had to do more with less time. As I've said before, I'm not the same person I was when I started at Cushing, and I want to quickly thank the people who have helped me along the way. All of my coaches for challenging me through leadership roles, Mr. Santos and Mr. Torrey for advising me throughout these years and for their support, my parents for encouraging my ambitions, and all of my friends, but especially Jane, Z, and Chloe for always being there for me, and for Katie and Lily for being with me since preschool. But these defining relationships aren't unique to me. They are quintessential to the Cushing experience. Whether it's a spontaneous trip on the weekend or just hanging out in a dorm, it's always been important for us to stay connected. We weren't as close as we are before Cushing, but that doesn't mean we can't stay just as close after Cushing. I recognize that I am one of the last people to stand between us and our diplomas, but I want to leave you with the thought of what our Cushing legacy will be, inspired by my love of the musical Hamilton. What is a legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden that you'll never get to see. No matter how long you were at Cushing, your presence was felt in ways both big and small, and you've influenced somebody. Keep that thought in mind as we celebrate today. Thank you very much, and roll pens.
Thank you, Lily, and congratulations to you all. We ready, seniors? All right. I now invite Mr. Raja Bala to the podium to assist me in the awarding of diplomas.
Matthew Andrew McFadden. Tenka Abe. Isaac I. Adegoke. Taichi Aikawa. Grace Patricia Ardito. Ogunawore Jesse Asasa. Matthew Michael Burton. Zahira Branch. Lily McGonaghy Brazes. Michael Carruthers Jr. Stan Yi-Heen Chung. Amanda Frauches Chavez. Hong Tao Chen. Yongling Chen. John Michael Allen Childs. Patrick Sean Costin. Brendan W. Coyle. Seamus Brian Cummings. Ryan Elizabeth Daly. Cornelia Pearl Davis. Jace Riley Day. Katie Margaret Dolan. Carlos Ignacio Dominguez Carballo. Owen William Donovan. Ava Catherine Doyle. Benjamin David Ellis. Ryan Osel Elmblad. Daniel Facino. Cameron Khan Faraz. Shay L. Frost. Laitzi Laurent Fu. Sophia Elizabeth Gregory. Chloe Elizabeth Hashi. Thomas Joseph Haig. Jane Elizabeth Harmon. Colin William Hoffman. Daria Pauline Horman. Tyra Marie Humphreys. Jackson Beck Irving. William Taylor Jackson. Soraya Farahani Jeffrey. Yichen Ji. Dewan Young. Kyla Keating. Mason Kesselring. Un-Ah Kim. Unshu Kim. Chongwen Heather Ko. Fanta Kone. Ryan Sergey Krailovek. Mia Allison Langlois. Junseo Lee. William Anthony Lessard. Shinyu Sheena Lee. Michelle Leong. Daniel H. Lichtman. Zihan Liu. Kaitao Luo. Shanshan Liu. Alexis Sage Maki. Justin Andrew Master Alexis. Declan John McCarthy. Grace Marion McGovern. Enrique Lariu Bezerra de Menenzes. Sophie May Mulligan. Connor J. Mullen. William Percy Norcross V. Isabella O'Shea Rangel. Christopher Hai Huan Park. Owen Michael Peskowski. McKenna Faith Patton. Wei Yi Peng. Michael Stefano Penna. Brandon Rich. Lillian Maeve Riley. Lily Hannah Revo. Colin James Ronan. Andrew Samuel Rosen. Chase Jabbar Ross. Matisse Shutton Burgess. Chelsea Adrian Sharp. Ratana Silpa Archa. Kaylee Catherine Smith. Piper Sabine Smith. Benjamin Upson Stone. Lilia Hazel Stone. Elizabeth Maeve Sullivan. Giovanni Tom. Yao Teng. Malcolm Brooks Thornton. Taram Brian Derek Tousse. Axel Warner Trina. Talia Trigg. Pedro Villela. Emily E. Vacatora. Zeyi Wang. Milo F. Wessel. Gabriel Heath Westreich. Lily Maria Wilcox. Graham Falconer Wilson. Shinchun Derek Xiong. Hai Xuan Xu. Xingyu Xu. Bingchun Kenny Yi. Xiaotong Angela Yi. Kevin Yuen. Samuel Caleb Zalkin. Jiaming Perry Zong. Aaron Randall Zenas. Eric Jong. Winhan Zhong. Yifan Zhang.
Let's give him another round of applause. Graduates, please rise. Parents, family, friends, and all members of the Cushing community, it is my honor and privilege to present to you the Cushing Academy class of 2022. Please be seated. A few points of order before our graduation ceremony ends. After we sing the alma mater, the faculty will lead our graduates in the recessional to the senior walkway, where they will congratulate the graduates in our traditional senior handshake. We hope you will all join us for lunch following the handshake inside the dining hall, where you can pick up your lunch to enjoy inside, outside, or here under the tent. Thank you for joining us on this very special day. And now please rise and join me in singing our alma mater, which is printed in your program.
Thank you.